I'm Dr. Sara Shields, and we're here today at the Dean Lee Research and Extension Center, and I want to show you two of the plants that we have in our native plant demonstration garden. The first of which is this rattlesnake master. Rattlesnake master, the name comes from the relationship that the Native Americans had with the plant back hundreds of years ago, but it is still a plant that does very well in our gardens, and one that I really highly recommend you consider for your gardens, especially if you want to move into increasing the number of natives you have. The plant itself has a rosette of leaves. Be very careful because the edges of the leaves do have some spines, so if you have young children around, you don't want them to get stuck. The rosette of leaves will grow about a foot, foot and a half, and then you'll see all of the flower spikes. These flower spikes come on in summer, and in the fall they'll dry out, and the option is either to collect those spent seed heads or to leave them, and before you know it, you'll have an area just covered with the rattlesnake master. The plant itself is tolerant to a wide range of soil conditions and soil types, from very sandy soil to more clay soil. Overall, the plant really prefers a little bit wetter conditions. So here in the demonstration gardens, we have it just a little bit on the dry side, but you can tell that it's still doing very well. In addition to being a fun plant with a fun name, the rattlesnake master is also great for attracting pollinators to the garden. So if you're looking for native plants, for pollinator plants, possibly both of those, I highly recommend that you introduce the rattlesnake master into your garden. The second plant that I wanted to show you today is the native coral honeysuckle. And you'll find some different coral honeysuckles out on the market as named varieties. Most of those you'll find is a different color, or it may be that they have increased flowers over our native coral honeysuckle. But as you can tell by the plant that I'm standing at, there's plenty of blooms on the plant. Just like the rattlesnake master, the coral honeysuckle is tolerant to a wide range of soil types, soil texture, soil pH, as well as soil moisture levels. Here in the native demonstration gardens, we really don't irrigate, and you can tell with just the rain that we've received this year, the plant is just covered in foliage and blooms and is performing very nicely. One thing to keep in mind is that the coral honeysuckle can mature to a height of about 8 to 10 foot, maybe even as much as 15 foot. So having some sort of frame or trellis for the vine to grow on is greatly beneficial. You can, however, keep the vines to about 3 to 4 foot by annual pruning. But again, having a plant that's not quite as aggressive as, say, a Chinese honeysuckle or the Chinese wisteria still provides a nice vine for the landscape, but it's not as aggressive, not as overpowering in the landscape as some of those other non-native varieties. So again, the coral honeysuckle, great flowers. You'll see these coral to orange with the yellow centers, great pollinator plant, great for hummingbirds. So the coral honeysuckle will bloom from spring through the fall reliably. You may even have some blooms in the winter depending on the temperatures that we're having at that time. To check out these or any of the other great native plants we have featured at the Dean Lee Research and Extension Center, feel free to stop by and you can take a look and see if there's something that you want to add to your landscape.